And so, Linda, for you, seeing Judy's arc this season, what was your reaction when you saw that that's the way it was going to play out?
I knew from when we were shooting season 2, Liz had told me what the idea was. And she's like, I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to do this. And I said, great, because whatever she thinks of, it just magically becomes this really interesting, fun thing to play. So I knew that there would be, not only would it be something that I would get to play, but it also would have greater meaning for the entire show. And I think because of Judy's journey, I think you sort of understand what Liz calls the themes of the show, which is friendship, grief, love, and forgiveness, right? Loss and forgiveness. And so I think that because of what happens, it really sort of pinpoints that for us. So I was as happy as you can be about it.
Well played.
Thank you,
So
and I'm
Liz-
sorry.
No, it's good. I thought it worked out.
Now I know why you love this car.
Right?
I'm so glad it's yours now.
Thank you.
Yeah, it worked. It works out very well. Well, not for Judy, but
Nothing ever does, though.
James, you're like one of the last people we see on screen.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, the show ends with me, which is cool.
Turns out it was all
what
about
was
James
your question? I mean, look, we keep talking about how bittersweet this is and how much of a family we've become and our friendships have grown and just through this, professional working relationship that it started as, and now we're sort of closing the book on this story, and it's really, we get emotional. I get emotional thinking about it, and but I think the audience is going to love what we have for them, and I know everyone poured their hearts and souls into it, so hopefully it's as rewarding to them as it is for us to present to them.
I didn't realize that you were in so much pain.
I didn't want you to realize.
How long has it been like this?
When something starts as like a little pain, it's there one day and not the next, and then it's there more days, and then you just kind of learn to live with it.
So Liz, you had come up with Judy getting cancer and it's kind of going off, having it be terminal midway through season 2 or however early. So I was curious watching it, obviously, because Christina had come forward with her health diagnosis with MS, and as far as I understand, revealing it to you guys partway through the season, or at least at the beginning of work. How much had to be shifted as far as the plot dynamics when she made that revelation to you guys?
The truth is, nothing changed in terms of the story. We had already shot about 50% of the season by the time Christina received her diagnosis, so there wasn't really any going back because we shoot Dead to Me completely out of order. So we had shot scenes from all 10 episodes by the time the news came in, and there was really no way to, rewrite or change anything, and also we didn't want to. Christina felt very strongly about telling the story that we wanted to tell from the beginning, and that's what we did. And I'm really grateful that we got to stick with the story as intended, and it was like an all hands on deck situation, getting it all made.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the all hands on deck, what were some of those things that you guys had to do in order to rally around her to aid her in as best you could?
Yeah, I think we made any accommodation that she felt or we felt was necessary, and just as we would for anybody that was going through, any kind of health challenge. For Christina, sometimes that meant that she held on to a door as she walked in, or that she and Linda were arm in arm just to help her with her balance. But those things were really pretty minimal, and I think for me, something that is miraculous is when you watch the show, I don't think you'll even really notice.
She's as brilliant as ever.
I mean, she's absolutely brilliant, as is Linda, as is James, and we just rally around each other. We've all gone through difficult moments in the course of 4 years of making a show, and so we were already in practice of being there for each other and being a support to one another, and this just continued that.
Linda, I people are going to say this and I don't think there's any merit to it, but
I'm leaning forward.
Hold up.
because people are going to be online are going to be like, we don't see Judy actually pass away. We don't see Judy. I feel the series is pretty definitive, But I mean, what's your take on that? Like, what would you say to people who are like, well, we never saw her. Like, she could be out there living her best life. She could be the one who beats the odds and comes back.
I think that's the point of it too. I think it is ambiguous on purpose. And right, Liz?
Yes.
Yes. And so, I hesitate to say what I truly think because that also, could color somebody else's narrative of what they think happens just because I play her. But I think that it was purposefully crafted that way so that, you kind of make your own assumptions about what happens and where she goes, whether that's here on Earth or not.
Ben,
Yeah.
I have to tell you something.
James, in that last moment when it seems like Christina is going to tell Ben what happens, it's sort of same question. Maybe it's best left ambiguous, but what do you think Ben's reaction was to finding out? If that's in fact what she was going to tell him. Let's presuppose that that's what it is.
I'm going to echo Linda's sentiment, and I don't want to color that sort of interpretation for any of the viewers. I mean, I have my own personal thoughts and feelings about what his reaction would be, but I feel like when you're making art, sometimes it's nice when you don't have everything kind of tidied up with a little bow on top, and that there is ambiguity and there's sort of an abstract nature to that, but it also can be, part of the art that you're presenting. And I don't know, I know that's a kind of like running around the question kind of answer, but I do believe that. I do believe it. I think that it can offer up conversation afterwards with everyone who watched it together.
Yeah.
And you all can share what they all think.
If it's good enough for The Sopranos, it's good enough for Dead to Me.
Exactly.
Right. But it's also very dead to me because we always have some kind of like little question unanswered. So
Yeah. What was it like seeing Christina and Katie have this beautiful on-screen reunion?
Katie's awesome.
I mean, Katie's incredible.
awesome.
I didn't realize that you were out and about.
So Judy's told you about me, huh?
And it was great just to see Katie and Linda play,
Yeah,
mother and daughter,
that was
and just
amazing.
the sort of fun, weird, dramatic irony of that. But then once we had Katie on the show, I was like, well, we have to put Katie and Christina in a scene together. We have to bring, these two and actually allow them to play the kind of scene that they've never gotten to play together, which is a pretty dramatic, charged, scene full of vitriol and resentment, and I think they're absolutely brilliant in it. I mean, I could have watched it all day, and I actually did. I did watch it all day.
There's something very satisfying about seeing them together.
Super satisfying.
For sure.
Yeah.